Red alert. You're probably feeling incredibly proud right now because your dog knows how to ring a bell to go outside, open the fridge to fetch a drink, or even put their toys away in a neat little box. You post it online, everyone calls them a genius, and you feel like the ultimate dog parent. Well, brace yourself for a massive reality slap. The biggest mistake owners make is thinking these complicated parlor tricks are a sign of superior canine intelligence. You are totally misunderstanding them. Stop showing off right now. What you are actually looking at is not a fluffy Einstein, but a desperate SOS signal. The truth is, forcing a dog's brain to process complex and unnatural human logic is silently destroying them from the inside out. We are talking about severe hidden medical red flags here. When you force your dog into these high-focus human behaviors, you are actively spiking their cortisol levels, which is their primary stress hormone, to absolutely toxic and dangerous limits. You think they are happy and learning, but their brain is literally screaming in a state of forced hypervigilance. Absolutely do not ignore this. What seems like a cute trick is actually a silent cry for help, as their fragile nervous system begs for mercy. And you really need to stick around, because at the fourth sign of mental collapse that I'm about to reveal, your dog might completely lose its most basic wild survival instinct. You will be shocked to know what is actually happening behind those eager puppy eyes. Let's talk about the very first domino to fall, which is sensory overload, because this is where the silent nightmare truly begins. The biggest mistake owners make is forcing their dogs to perform and learn complex tricks right in the middle of a chaotic, modern human environment. You have the television blaring in the living room, heavy traffic noise echoing from outside the window, and maybe your phone is buzzing on the table while you stand there holding a piece of sausage, demanding your dog to give you their absolute, undivided attention. You are completely misunderstanding how a canine brain actually operates. Their auditory cortex is an absolute marvel of wild evolution, naturally capable of processing high-pitched frequencies all the way up to 45,000 hertz. To put that terrifying reality into perspective, they can hear the microscopic, high-pitched hum of your refrigerator and the electric buzz of your wall outlets as if they were standing right next to a screaming jet engine. When you force them to memorize human tricks in this highly stimulating environment, they are not actually focusing on your command. The truth is, their primitive brain is experiencing a massive sensory freeze. They are trapped in a state of absolute system overload, physically unable to filter out the overwhelming noise of the human world, yet deeply terrified of failing your pack expectations. And here is a cute little illusion that is going to shatter your heart. Have you ever looked down at your dog right in the middle of a rigorous training session and thought to yourself, "Oh, look at that. They are smiling at me. They are having so much fun." You will be shocked to know what that adorable smile really means. Absolutely do not ignore this warning sign. That is not a smile of joy, and they are not laughing with you. If you translate this secret hidden language, when a dog tightly pulls back the commissures of their lips and starts engaging in rapid, extremely shallow panting, you are looking straight at a severe medical red flag. That specific facial microexpression is an emergency thermoregulation response. Their internal body temperature is dangerously spiking simply because they are under extreme psychological stress. They are panting because their delicate nervous system is literally overheating from the immense pressure of trying to decode your unnatural human demands. While you are busy recording a viral video for your followers, a much darker biological mechanism is silently taking over their body. Because their senses are so overwhelmed, their adrenal glands start aggressively pumping pure adrenaline directly into their bloodstream. This massive, unnatural chemical dump acts exactly like a temporary painkiller, completely masking their profound physical and mental exhaustion. They keep going, they keep ringing that bell, and they keep performing the trick, not because they are a happy little genius, but because they have been forced into a hyper-vigilant fight-or-flight state of survival. They are terrified of breaking the pack hierarchy. They are literally pushing their bodies past the breaking point, sacrificing their own sanity just to appease you in a world that is way too loud, way too bright, and far too demanding for a wild animal. Now let us move on to the second stage of this terrifying biological domino effect, which is the total hormonal breakdown of your dog. You are going to be shocked when you realize what you are actually doing to their brain chemistry. In the wild, a dog gets a massive, healthy rush of dopamine simply by doing what they were born to do, which is sniffing the ground, tracking scents, and exploring their natural environment. But the biggest mistake owners make is replacing that beautiful, natural reward system with a toxic, obsessive dependence on human approval. When you constantly force them to solve your stupid little puzzles or perform complex tricks for a tiny piece of cheese, you are completely hijacking and destroying their natural dopamine loop. You are turning a majestic wild predator into a desperate addict who only feels a chemical reward when they successfully decode your confusing human logic. This is not intelligence. You are literally rewiring their brain to be chronically stressed if they are not actively pleasing you. And this leads us to a secret dictionary of micro-movements that will absolutely break your heart. You see your dog constantly licking their lips, doing these huge, exaggerated yawns, or suddenly showing the whites of their eyes while you are teaching them a new trick. You probably laugh and think they are just being silly, they are just tired, or they are trying to act cute to get the treat faster. The truth is completely the opposite. Absolutely do not ignore this massive red flag. In the secret language of dogs, these actions are called displacement behaviors. They are not acting cute at all. Their nervous system is screaming in agony, and they are physically attempting to release the immense, crushing pressure that is building up inside their skull. That big yawn is a desperate biological attempt to pull more oxygen into a brain that is suffocating from anxiety. When they show you the whites of their eyes, which experts call whale eye, they are begging for a timeout. They are politely asking you to stop the madness before their mind completely shatters. But the final, most devastating part of this hormonal crash is the temporary paralysis of their greatest superpower. A dog has over 300 million olfactory receptors in their nose. They experience the entire universe through smell. But when you force them into this high-pressure, trick-performing circus act, their stress levels spike so high that their olfactory bulb literally shuts down. You will be shocked to know that they actually stop smelling the world around them. Instead of acting like a real dog, they become completely obsessed and fixated on every single micro-movement of your facial muscles and your hands. They are trapped in a state of hypervigilance, desperately trying to predict your next command so they do not face the ultimate punishment of your disappointment. They sacrifice their greatest wild instinct just to survive the mental prison of your expectations. Now we are entering the third terrifying stage of this disaster, which is the complete cognitive collapse of your beloved pet. You look at your dog and you think they are an absolute genius because they are suddenly anticipating your every single move before you even give the command. You think you have built this incredible, magical psychic connection with them. But the truth is, you are totally misunderstanding what is actually happening inside their head. The biggest mistake owners make is praising this hypervigilant behavior. What you are actually witnessing is a severe medical condition called hyperesthesia. Because you have pushed their brains so hard to be smart and process complicated human tasks, their nervous system has become chronically inflamed and terrifyingly sensitive. Every single sound in the house, every sudden movement you make with your hands is literally shocking their frayed nerves. They are not predicting your commands because they are a smart little human in a fur coat. They are doing it because they live in a constant state of frantic panic, terrified of missing a cue and failing the pack leader. Absolutely do not ignore this. Their mind is running on a toxic treadmill that simply never stops. And this leads to a biological consequence that will make you feel incredibly guilty. You will be shocked to know that this forced intelligence is actually destroying their fundamental ability to sleep. When a normal, healthy wild dog sleeps, their heart rate drops to a beautiful, peaceful basal level, and they enter deep REM sleep to heal their body and mind. But when you turn your dog into a stressed-out circus performer, that deep healing sleep completely disappears from their life. You might see them lying there on the carpet with their eyes closed, but if you look closely, their eyeballs are frantically darting under their eyelids, and their muscles are constantly twitching and jerking. They are trapped in a superficial, highly anxious sleep state, physically replaying the stress of the day over and over again. Their brain is so exhausted from trying to act like a human all day that it physically forgets how to shut down, relax, and rest like a wild animal. If you are still not convinced that you are pushing them too far, this final sign of cognitive collapse will absolutely terrify you. Have you ever seen a dog obsessively chasing laser pointers, staring at random shadows on the wall for hours, or aggressively sucking and chewing on the skin of their own flank? People film this, post it online, and put funny music over it. Stop doing this right now. The reality is that these are called stereotypic behaviors, and they are a massive, blazing red flag of severe mental trauma. Your dog is not playing a silly game with a shadow. Their brain is in so much psychological agony from the overwhelming pressure you put on them that they are engaging in these repetitive, robotic actions just to force their brain to release a tiny drop of natural endorphins. It is a desperate, heartbreaking attempt to self-medicate and physically soothe their own invisible nerve pain because the intelligent world you force them into is just too incredibly overwhelming. And now, we reach the final and most devastating domino to fall. This is the ultimate physical and mental collapse of your dog. When their brain is marinating in toxic levels of cortisol for months on end, it literally destroys their immune system. You will be shocked to know that their chronic skin allergies, massive patches of hair loss, and endless digestive issues are not just random bad luck. Their white blood cells are completely wiped out by the stress you caused. But the absolute worst part is a terrifying psychological state called learned helplessness. You tell your dog to stay, and they freeze completely like a statue with their tail clamped tightly between their hind legs to lower their center of gravity. The biggest mistake owners make is praising this as the perfect obedience trick. Absolutely do not ignore this. They are not being good. Their prefrontal cortex has completely shut down. They have entirely given up on the world around them, losing all their natural pack instincts and turning into a soulless programmed robot just to survive you. So here is the harsh reality that you need to face right now. You have not trained a genius. You have systematically broken a perfectly beautiful wild creature. The truth is, human beings are incredibly selfish. We use our own distorted standards of intelligence to measure the worth of an animal that was never meant to be a circus clown. We force them to perform for likes and views on social media, completely ignoring the silent suffering happening right in front of our eyes. Stop doing this right now. If you truly love your dog, you need to step back and let them be a dog again. Let them sniff the grass, let them sleep deeply, and let their fragile nervous system finally heal. The greatest, most profound gift of a dog's brain is not their ability to solve human puzzles or do silly tricks on command. It is their infinite, boundless capacity for forgiveness and their quiet, silent devotion to sit by your side even when you completely misunderstand them. They are sacrificing their own mental health just to stay connected to you. But wait, the story does not end here. You now know how your training might be secretly destroying their brain. But do you know that the strange, weird position your dog chooses when they are fast asleep actually reveals exactly who they consider the true pack leader in your house? The final answer is going to completely shock you. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below with your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video to decode that ultimate secret.